taking the time to see me, Aspen.
Hi, Barbara. The barbecue. Murphy?
I'm doing okay, but I've been thinking about my privileges based upon my social location. I'm a cisgender, heterosexual, middle-class, able-bodied, white male American citizen from parents who loved and provided for me, living in a region where church affiliation is a minor factor at a time in history where disease and starvation are at an all-time low. Not for everybody, and not injustice, it is true, but compared to the past, this is a statistically favorable time to be alive.
Goodbye, show.
No, I don't feel guilty about my luck, but I am aware that I enjoy privileges relative to people in oppression with regards to economics, law, power, violence, access, and relationship.
Oh, no, okay.
Yes, right. Some of my main privileges are access to information and resources, relative distance from discrimination, and mainly as an educated professional white male, I carry the presumption that I have a voice in just about anything and that people will listen. Not everybody gets that as a basic given. It's a major power differential.
Okay.
It means that as a counselor, I'll need to work even harder to listen authentically and to lessen my tendency to say something clever.
The barbecue.
That's true. My privileges do impact future generations, including yours, and I take seriously the need to support a sustainable global ecosystem. Privileges can be retroactive as well as inherited. Well, another issue for me, which came up in my social cultural foundations class, is the distinction between multiculturalism and cultural relativism.
Do people buy car?
Mainly that they're not the same.
No.
Cultural relativism is a theory about the nature and origin of values. Its modern version began in the early 20th century with Frank Boas, Ruth Benedict, and Edvard Westermark as early proponents. The basic idea of cultural relativism is that human values, such as moral, social, and aesthetic values, come entirely from our environment, and culture is what accounts for the production of social values. For the strong cultural relativist, there is no such thing as a universal value, because even if there are similarities among different cultures, there is no value which transcends the cultural context from which it emerged. Values are nothing more than agreed upon practice.
Yeah.
Modern multiculturalism took hold in the 1970s, such as in Canada, the US, and some European nations, and has spread throughout the world. Multiculturalism is a political philosophy based on the belief that different cultural groups may coexist, engage in dialogue, and interact without surrendering their particular identities. The American Counseling Association identifies multiculturalism as a core value. This is an aspiration to tolerance and mutual respect to be held by many cultures working together.
I do sugar cup.
Well, the issue arises for me because some counselors do not distinguish multiculturalism from cultural relativism and assert that we must be cultural relativists in order to advance the multicultural agenda.
The cricket? Is that cricket?
Right. My sole point here is to observe that cultural relativism is neither necessary nor sufficient for multiculturalism. Indeed, I argue that strong cultural relativism is destructive to multiculturalism. I'd like counselors to recognize the difference and be open to investigation of the merits of cultural relativism along with other axiological theories. Counselors may choose to be cultural relativists. It is a possible explanation for what values are, but I believe that no one should think that by following their culturally relative beliefs, that they're thereby practicing multiculturalism in a counseling context.
Poop. Pee.
So you're a Freudian. But I get your point. One of the reasons this is important to me is that moral relativism stands in contradiction to one of the most important points about culture, which is that all cultures are dynamic and varied. There are traditions and taboos in all cultures, but also individuals who resist those group values.
Yeah?
Cultures change, and I think that they can change for the better. Cultural relativism denies this because on that view, the existing cultural practices are the only standard of value. There is no better.
Yeah.
Multiculturalism, on the other hand, aspires to adaptations of cultures to one another in ways that advance their collaboration, while honoring their unique differences. In multiculturalism, it is better for adjacent cultures to get along. Shared values, such as human rights, are part of the multicultural concept because cultures are largely comprised of human beings whom all have fundamental rights. Cultural relativism has no category for fundamental rights because, on that view, it is all determined by the standards of individual cultures.
Oh.
I believe that we risk doing harm to our clients by imposing a philosophical theory of value upon them, cultural relativism, thinking that we are actually promoting tolerance and neutrality. It is likely that some of our clients are suffering from the demands of their culture. I want to support them where appropriate, even in the defiance of their dominant culture.
Okay.
I appreciate your validation. Yeah, I'll probably try to publish something on this. I do feel better having talked to you about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for hearing me out, Aspen.
M-I-A.
You sure are a good listener, and I always feel validated by you, even when you're having a tantrum. You're a good boy.
Yeah.
And I mean good as a substantial value, even if you are a rebel like your bopper.
Popper.
Now about your feet. Do you want to go get a new toy?
Spider.
The barbecue. Bye. Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark.